penalties. Just as higher arrest and convictions rates deter crime, so does the risk that someone committing a crime will confront someone able to defend him or herself. There is a strong negative relationship between the number of law-abiding citizens with permits and the crime rate. As more people obtain permits, that is greater decline in violent crime rates. This evidence shows that more guns will create less crime, and less crime leads to a peaceful society. Predator 2, stand your ground protects citizens and allows self-defense. One stand your ground law values human life. Richard Northland, Republican, member of Illinois House of Representatives, March 28, 2012. The facts that surround stand your ground laws are clear. Nothing is more valuable than human life. Citizens must be able to protect themselves without fear that the self-defense will be legally problematic. When ordinary peaceful citizens find themselves in unthinkable circumstances, our legal system must protect the good guys. This evidence shows that this law protects and values human lives. 2. Stand your ground law and protects weak and innocent Don and Matt Gates, Florida House of Representatives, April 2012. Before stand your ground, Florida law favored the attacker. Consider an elderly woman in a dimly lit parking lot or a college girl walking into her dorm at night. If either was attacked, her duty was to turn back and try to flee, probably to overcome and or kill. Calls to repeal stand your ground are anti-women. This shows that this law protects innocent and weak people who can't defend themselves a chance to defend themselves. This law is important to everyone, the innocent and the weak. This law can save and protect lives as well as create peaceful societies. For these reasons, we urge you to vote pro. Can I have my
Angel, 1 cc.
No, I thought. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm going to. Did you read? What? You have 2 contentions. 2 contentions.
Judges are ready.
Okay.
Opponents are ready.
Excuse me, you don't have any printout, right?
No,
So-
we don't. We can't take the case.
But it's unfair because they read your case and they cannot read yours.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we take. What you want? We have a copy. They can look at ours.
Oh, okay. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, we
You
just-
finished it? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is it only
You
one
guys need
page?
a copy back?
What?
Your copy.
Sure.
Judges are ready.
Yes.
Opponents are ready.
Wait, is it only 1 page? Or is it only 1 page?
What are you talking about?
Is there only 1 page?
Yeah.
We only included the contentions, though we didn't do the definitions. Our definitions are the same as yours.
3, 2, 1. Honorable judges, we negate the resolution that says stand your ground laws are a legitimate expansion of doctrine of self-defense. Definition: we define stand your ground law as a law that allows person to use force in self-defense when there is a reasonable belief or a threat, without an obligation to reach force. We define legitimate expansion as a legal application of a doctrine. We define self-defense as the right to protect oneself against violence or threat of violence with whatever force or means are reasonably necessary. Condition 1, stand your ground is a gun lobbyist. Stand your ground should be repealed. It was a product of gun lobbyists. 12th President of the Party Center for Gun Violence, March 2012. Stand your ground was a deadly mistake and should be repealed. The gun lobby pushing to realize that its vision in America where dangerous people like Zimmerman walk among us with a vigilant mentality. This shows that stand your gun law is a bad law and should definitely be repealed. Gun lobbyists lead to more deaths. Sheriff Frisky, The Washington Times, March 2012. Like any time they slacken these laws off, it doesn't immediately turn into a problem. It just adds to the problem that where there are more guns, there are more deaths. This shows that gun lobbies will lead to more deaths and central gun law is a gun lobbyist. Condition 2, central gun promotes vigilant mentality. Central gun law promotes vigilant mentality. Gross, President of the Party Center for Gun Violence, March 2012. Impact the central gun really means shoot first and caution later. This law should be a last resort when there is no avenue of escape or avoidance for a person under attack. These laws have allowed countless dangerous individuals to literally get away with murder by claiming self-defense. If Zimmerman did not have a gun with him, Martin would still be alive today. This study indicates that central gun law promotes vigilant mentality, and if there is no central gun law, Zimmerman would be able to carry a gun and Martin would still be alive today. Vigilant mentality is bad. Jackson Vision, Courier 2012. The vigilant mentality which takes the law into its own hands in order to promote morality is dead wrong. When a man becomes a law unto himself, nothing but social chaos can result. No person has the right to become an outlaw to fight bad law. This shows that vigilant mentality is a very bad law. The Commandment 3. Central gun makes one person judge, jury, and exclusionary. Central gun laws encourage retaliatory. Zell, Whiskey, U.S. News, March 2012. Central gun laws may actually encourage violent acts through the use of deadly force. The doctrine simply requires that a person believes or imagines that he or she is in danger. Central gun laws are inherently flawed and have the unfortunate potential to increase violence and wrongful death. Central gun law encourages retaliatory because people can use any deadly weapon and by saying that they are self-defensive. Central gun laws lead to more deaths. Rouse, New York Times, March 2012. We don't want the law giving people the idea that their violent actions will be treated with impunity. Individuals will use gunfire more and more as conflict resolution. This shows that central gun laws makes people use more gunfire and therefore will make more people die. For these reasons, we urge you to put your vote in for the con, for we have the evidence to show that our negativity to the resolution will save the value of human life. Thank you.
Are you guys still copy? Would you like to the copy?
You want coffee? Your coffee. How long is it?
Audrey Kong and Angel, Ghost Rider. Between. Audrey Kong first. 3 minutes.
Judges are ready. Timers. Can you please define bad?
What?
Can you please define bad? Bad? Like in your first. Like in your first impact.
Injustice.
What?
Injustice. How will you value of what? How will you save the value of human life if the innocents will be killed under central gun law?
Can you repeat that?
How will you save humans? Well, how will you save the value of human life if innocents will be killed under central gun law?
They won't. We're trying to save.
No, you're not trying to save them because if you use central gun law, you are trying to kill them.
How is standard gun law trying to kill the innocent? When
Because-
this law could provide self-defense for the weak and innocent.
Because because people can lie that they are self-defending, but they are actually killing that person.
They're actually what?
They're actually killing that person because they hate them. That's what happened to the Zimmerman case.
And that doesn't happen to every single case.
Can you give me an example of the case that, no, that's not.
Just because one case says that.
So there's plenty of cases because I claim that they are self-defending, but actually they are killing each other. And we have the evidence that says that it is relevant and that his father said that Zimmerman is racist.
个照不清楚吗？iPhone 照不清楚。不是看吗？
You can go on with her.
My Sandra will read it in her next speech.
Well, next one, 2PC Brian.
Okay. 3, 4, 5. They said that more. They said that the standard ground laws will lead to more crime, but my evidence shows that it will decrease the crime rate and lead to a peaceful society. States with the largest increases in gun ownership also have the largest drops in violent crimes. Stand your ground values human life. Richard Morton, March 28, 2012. The fact that non-stand your ground laws are clear. Nothing is more valuable than human life. Citizens must be able to protect themselves without fear that self-defense will be legally problematic. When the ordinary peaceful citizens find themselves in unthinkable circumstances, our legal system must protect their lives. Stand your ground is not a license to kill, it is a protection for the rights of a person. Arizona Prosecutor Kelly Mayer, April 16, 2012. Prosecutor Kelly Mayer says that the 2010 law is not a license for someone to say use deadly force. Not having an obligation to retreat is not having the same as I have a license to kill any time I feel certain. The issue is what a reasonable person would have done in the same circumstances. Just because you don't have to turn around and run away doesn't mean that you're automatically off the hook of a homicide. Stand your ground laws are good and appropriate. Richard Morton, March 28, 2012. Yes, stand your ground laws are good and appropriate. These laws refer to the right of self-defense. Our laws must protect the innocent of the criminal, the peace-loving of the violent, and the lawkeeper of the lawbreaker. This shows that if we pass on the stand your ground laws, people will be able to protect themselves from the so-called from the bad guys, and then it will, protect the innocent. Citizens, just like the police, are entitled to self-defense without retreating. Chuck Gray, a senator from Massa, April 16, 2012. Chuck Gray, a Republican senator from Massa, said, as a police officer, we are granted certain authority. He said that authority resides with citizens. We never ask our police officers to retreat if these feel threatened. Gray continued, if we delegate the authority, that means the same authority resides or remains with the citizens. This evidence shows that the citizens should be able to protect themselves just like the police. They don't have to retreat, they can just protect themselves. For these reasons, we urge you to go pro.
Crossfire between Brian and Jasmine.
No,
No?
she has three.
What?
Me and then.
I'm sorry, Jasmine. Sorry.
Judges, are you ready? Timer, are you ready?
Wait. Is it 4 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. My opponent said in his first contention that it decreases crime rate, but we have evidence that it does not decrease crime rate. And stand your ground law that was passed, we have evidence that proving them wrong, that there has been a lot of crime rates since ever having this law was passed. According to Zalewski, 2012, from the Illinois House of Representatives, stand your ground laws are inherently flawed, and we have the unfortunate potential to create violence and wrongful deeds based on the misunderstanding, miscommunication, misconceptions, and racial ethnic prejudices. This shows that stand your ground encourages and increases violence and wrongful deaths on misunderstanding. So we took out their first contention. And second contention, it says that it protects citizens and allows self-defense and values human life and protects the weak and innocent. We have evidence that stand your ground law does not protect the innocent, and these are one of them. May kidnaps Alexandria and Kalia Bain's sisters and kills the mother Joanne and the older sister Adrienne. According to Moore, to May 12, 2012, May was put on the FBI's most wanted list,
and the officer told him to see his hands, and Mays pushed himself up on his knees and pulled out a 9mm pistol, and shot himself in the head. He didn't utter a word and died a couple hours later in the hospital. This shows that Mays was a friend of Bain's and used to carry a pistol and killed 2 innocent people, and he was allowed to carry the gun because in Mississippi there is a stand your ground law, and he used it against his friends and killed them. So we took out their second contention, and they said that they did not say anything about the stand your ground law promoting vigilant mentality. They dropped that, and also they did not say anything about it being bad and about one person being the judge, jury, executioner, and the stand your ground law encourages retaliatory. And they did not say anything about the stand your ground law that is leading to death. And if they say that, they did not say anything about how the stand your ground law will help the people at all. They just said why it is a good law. We have evidence that stand your ground law encourages violence and increases crime rates, according to Dan Gross, president of the Brady Center for Gun Violence, March 28, 2012. In practice, stand your ground law really means shoot first and ask questions later. But they are saying that the stand your ground law is good because you can shoot them first while they're attacking you, and then you can ask questions later. But if you shoot them, then they'll die, so you can't ask them questions later. And they said that they do not know that stand your ground is a bad law because big companies are now turning away from the gun lobbyists, and liberal groups are targeting ALEC for its roles in spreading the lost color of change, led an online campaign urging major businesses to cut ties with ALEC. 3 huge companies, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, and Kraft Food, announced that they will end their membership in the council. This shows that there are even people who think that this will not lead to a peaceful society and that it will not value the human life. That is why they're trying to back away from this stand your ground law. For these reasons, we urge you to vote for con.
Right.
3, 2, 1, go. Do you have a method of protecting people right now?
Is that a question?
Yes.
What is your question?
Do you have a method of protecting people right now?
Yeah, by not having a stand your ground law.
Yeah. By not having the stand your ground law, do you have a method for
Just by not having it, they're protected. No one will be carrying a gun around. If someone carries a gun around the whole time, anyone can shoot anyone and say that it was self-defense.
That's the case right now. Some people are carrying the gun right around and they can shoot anyone they have. So that's why we have the stand your ground law to protect the innocent from criminal stuff. So do you have a better method? Do you have any other method than SYG?
Not having the stand your ground law. I never said it. Okay, so my turn to ask you a question. Are you aware that the public does not encourage the stand your ground law because there have been companies that have been dropping out of it already?
What companies?
I already said it. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Kraft Food. Are you aware that the Zimmerman case is related and is relevant to what the resolution is about? And that Zimmerman used the stand your ground law against a black man, and his father told the interviewers that he was a racist person, so then that is evidence that he actually shot Travion Martin because he hated him. Do you have evidence saying that it is not relevant to the resolution?
Which is not relevant.
That the Zimmerman case is not relevant? Do you have evidence that vigilant mentality is bad?
What?
Do you have evidence that vigilant mentality is good?
What?
Because that's one of our contentions and you did not rebut that. So I'm asking you right now.
What's vigilant mentality? What's that?
We don't
What's the amendment?
It's us, it's the con who gets to choose what to refute, and we refuted all of yours, but then you did not refute all of ours.
He's asking what the vigilant mentality is. You're dodging his question.
Single mentality.
What does that mean? What does single mentality mean?
When a man becomes a law unto itself, nothing.
Can you give me a definition, not evidence?
That's the definition.
Wait, can we take like the definition? Can we have the hello,
Jasmine.
hello,
Yes, Brian.
the definition?
Stop cross. Oh. Where's the, can we have,
No,
no, can we have our copy that we gave you?
it's right there.
Find it.
We have like
It's right here, we already read it.
It explains it when I'm not to itself. I think that's what it is. If you want me to specify it word for word, it won't make sense. You have to read the combined phrase.
Next one is Audrey Kwong.
Depends on
2 minutes for summary.
Cards are ready. 3, 2, 1. I disagree with the con. There are 33 states that agree to this law. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, California, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, New Hampshire, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. Meaning that it is more than half that this law is not as bad as the con says it is. If this law is bad, then we do not need to repeal it because so many states have already agreed to this stand your ground law. Also, stand your ground law will not increase crime because criminals are uncertain. If everybody has a gun, then the criminals will not want to attack because they will know that they will also get attacked back. So the criminal rate will go down. We also have evidence that crime rate will go down. And lastly, we disagree with what they said that it will kill the innocent because the innocent are the ones who are being attacked by criminals, meaning that they don't have a gun. But this law gives them the authority to use gun and use self-defense and stand there and just shoot when threatened. Those are all the reasons why we disagree. We hope you to vote. We urge you to vote pro.
opponents are ready. 3, 2, 1. Someone, if everyone has been upon our duty to stand your ground is a good law or not. And as a negative, we have said that a stand your ground law is harmful and does not protect the value of human life and is anti-woman. Also, it is not better than a duty to retreat because anywhere there will be a place to run away from the criminal or murderer. My opponents did not refute anything during the rebuttal speech. Let me say agree that stand your ground is a gun law because promote vigilant mentality and makes one person judge, jury, and executioner. And my opponent did not answer any questions during the crossfire. Judges, let me summarize what you have heard so far. The resolution was stand your ground law was our legitimate expansion of the doctrine of self-defense. As a negative, we are declaring that the law is a bad law because it increases crime rate and harms innocent people. They said that the states agreed to the law because they did not, but they did not specify who in the states, whether the government or the public. But we specify for you, Brian and J.K., that the public does not support the law. Private sectors hate it. It also creates more violence in states, and just because the affirmative says that states have the law, it does not mean that they are intended to like it and they did not give any evidence for that. Also, innocent people can die from this sort of law. Come Cabin, Arizona House of Representatives, April 16, 2012. What kind of chaos are we going to have when someone presents a gun and someone else presents a gun? And what are we going to have in a public area that could end up in some sort of firefight and innocent people die? This shows that innocent people will be killed if standard gun law is not repealed. And also, according to Jason Pike, United Liberty, April 2012, 31% of people believe that Zimmerman's case is guilty. This shows that the public support that for these people is important.
Grand crossfire. All speakers, 3 minutes.
It's grand crossfire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we all stand up.
Who starts?
Rob, because Jasmine is the last speaker, so you go first.
Three, two. Are you saying that duty of retreat is better than stand your grounds?
Yeah. Well, it's the most decent way to get away from a criminal without shooting them. Because you don't actually know if they're going to kill you or just ask you a question or if they're ready for this.
So you expect an elderly to run away from a criminal?
Yeah. At least retreat somewhere safe where there's a lot of people.
You can barely. Some people can barely walk.
And they shouldn't walk. They should stay at home.
What if a criminal comes to your door?
No, but you don't know that if it is a criminal.
What if it is?
But standard gun law said that you can shoot the person even though if you are in danger, but then maybe they just stared at you and then you think that you're in danger.
And how do you know you're not in danger?
Okay. How would you feel if you were running towards me and you were asking me to give you like a pin or something to clip your hair, and then I thought that you were gonna come and kill me because you got off a softball tournament and then you were holding a bat, and then I shot you. How would you feel?